What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our college football channel. It's time for my New Year's 6 predictions as we head into rivalry weekend. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm posting this on Thanksgiving Day. I actually recorded it as I'm recording it, it is Tuesday. So I'm actually recording this before the rankings come out tonight. So that could possibly change some things in these predictions if the rankings are not what I expect them to be, but I don't really see any big surprises coming. I mean, if Clemson were to be ranked up at number 6 or something and they jump LSU, I mean, there are maybe some things that could happen that would change these predictions, but I feel pretty confident that the rankings are going to look how I think they're going to look. And so I went ahead and needed to do my predictions just based off of my schedule for the week. And so I needed to get this video recorded, and let's get right into it. I already posted my playoff predictions. You can go back and watch that. Went in a little bit more depth as to why I've got the teams where I have them. Georgia versus Michigan. One of the semifinals, I've got Georgia going undefeated. Michigan losing a close game to Ohio State. I think the committee will put them in the playoff just because I think the injuries, playing on the road in a close game, I think that'll be enough to put Michigan in there at number 4. The other team that might have an argument would have an argument. I don't know if they would win it, but that's Clemson. I have Clemson winning the ACC championship and finishing with just one loss. So Georgia, Michigan, and then Ohio State versus TCU. I've actually got TCU finishing undefeated. Same for Ohio State. These two teams meet up in the 2 versus the 3 matchup in the playoff. And again, if these teams do go and they win out, I think it's pretty obvious they'll be at 2 and 3. So let's get to the other New Year's 6 predictions here. The Rose Bowl. So I've got USC versus Penn State. We'll start with Penn State. That's the easy one. They'll be the highest ranked Big Ten team. Really, no doubt about that. So for USC, I've actually got them losing to Notre Dame, but then winning the Pac-12 championship. And I was really back and forth on USC or Oregon in that Pac-12 championship. At the end of the day, I think the offense for USC a little too much. I think it'll be similar to the UCLA game. Also, Bo Nix being injured and the Oregon defense struggling to stop a team like Washington. I think it'll be a similar setup to Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA. You kind of look at those two games to make a prediction here. And again, Caleb Williams with the game on the line, he's tough to stop. And I don't know if you can't stop him, honestly. I think Notre Dame is a better matchup, though. I think Notre Dame, their defense will be able to do some things. And again, I think they pull off the upset on Saturday. So that's why I have USC not in the playoff, but I do have them winning the Rose Bowl. USC going to the Rose Bowl, I should say, winning the Pac-12 championship, going to the Rose Bowl facing Penn State. In the Sugar Bowl, so this will be interesting with LSU, Kansas State. How far does Tennessee fall in the rankings? Obviously, that could affect this. And then if LSU loses to Georgia, will they drop below Alabama, even though they have the head-to-head? I think they won't. I think they will be the highest-ranked team out of the SEC, unless they get blown out in that game or something. But yeah, I think LSU represents the SEC here. Kansas State represents the Big 12. After I do have them losing to TCU. But who else would go out of the Big 12? I don't think you could really, there's really no one else unless Texas, Texas finishes strong. They look really good in their final game. Kansas State, they get blown out in the Big 12 championship, which I don't see that happening. There's an argument maybe Texas could sneak in there, but I think it'll be Kansas State, LSU versus Kansas State. And then the Orange Bowl, this has been the prediction now for the last couple of weeks. I think Clemson will win the ACC and just missed out on the college football playoff. And then I think Alabama will be the next highest ranked team out of the SEC or the Big Ten. Like I said, though, Tennessee, where will they be ranked? What does the committee do with the Hendon Hooker injury? I think because of that and because of the fact that they lost their 2 games by a lot, I think Alabama will still be ahead of Tennessee at the end of the season despite the head-to-head. And so we get Clemson and Alabama here in the Orange Bowl, a game that I think would be really exciting to see. And then finally in the Cotton Bowl. All right, so there I've got Notre Dame. Notre Dame making it. Cincinnati, I still think they bounce back. They win the American Championship. They get the win there. And then, so they're the highest ranked Group of 5 champion. And then it's Notre Dame. I'm looking at who could go here. Could it be Tennessee? Again, I think the injury to Hendon Hooker is probably going to keep them from putting Tennessee too high. Notre Dame with a big win over USC, that jumps them up into the rankings, and I think Notre Dame actually makes it to the Cotton Bowl. You can also look at Utah with 3 losses. They'll still be ranked pretty high. But again, I think it's going to be Notre Dame. The other option would be Tennessee. Again, what does the committee do with Tennessee? And like I said, I'm recording this before the rankings come out tonight. So if they still got Tennessee up really high, then you could maybe change this prediction to Tennessee, or maybe put Tennessee in the Orange Bowl, Alabama in the Cotton Bowl, however it shakes out in the rankings. But my prediction right now, Notre Dame, because of a big one over USC, they shoot up the rankings and they make it as that at-large team. So those are my predictions for the New Year's Six. Would love to get your thoughts, your predictions down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports College Football Channel.